Today we're going to be talking about how to navigate trading in these crazy volatile markets. I mean, listen, it is coming into fall of 2023 as I record this video. I'm sure many of you know a lot going on in the world, whether it be Ukraine or the emergence of artificial intelligence or the election coming up, inflation, real estate values. I mean, Airbnb's exploding in New York right now, exploding in a bad way. Oil and gas up. There's so much uncertainty out there that I think a lot of people see that and they start thinking that, well, now's not the time to trade. And I get that. I think that that's a logical, you know, if you haven't been trading, if you haven't been in the markets for 17 years like I have, it's a logical determination to come to. Like if there's always these different things going on in the world and everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off, that's probably a Midwestern thing. But anyway, the point is that, you know, everyone's losing their mind. Just go on social media for about 5 minutes and you think that, oh, okay, I can't find an edge. I can't make money because of all these random moves, but it's actually the exact opposite. That's what's wild is once you've been through this. So just a real quick bio on me. I'm lead trainer with StocksToTrade Tim Bohen. I've been trading for 17 years, been mentoring traders for 8 years. We've been running this channel, I think, for about 8 years now. But I actually, and I think this was luck. I don't think this was any knowledge on my part. I actually got started trading during the financial crisis, during the whole housing crisis and the financial crisis, you know, 2007, 2008, 2009. I'd been trading a little bit before that, but those were the years that I finally got profitable and finally started seeing real results. And if you recall, I mean, I know it was a little over a decade ago, and maybe you were in middle school at the time, or it's just a decade ago. I mean, remember, very scary world back then. Bear Stearns failed, you know, one day. Goes from Jim Cramer on CNBC saying Bear Stearns is safe. They've been around for 120 years. Next day, out of business. Lehman Brothers, again, I think over a 100-year-old financial company. I mean, guys packing up their desks with boxes. Mortgage markets collapsing. You know, look at The Big Short, great movie. You know, you think back to that. People making billions of dollars on worthless paper in real estate markets, and you know, in the movie, strippers with 4 houses and all this chicanery, financial chicanery. And I think a lot of people thought that was a bad time, and I saw it as opportunity. I mean, I saw these stocks going up huge, collapsing huge, and that was different in market back then. And I got started predominantly short selling back then because of the fear. There was so much fear out there that no one wanted to hold any of these low price stocks more than 10 minutes, much less overnight. So by recognizing that, I went from being long bias in the early 2000s to being almost exclusively short bias from about 2007 to about 2015, because there was so much fear. And once you recognize that, Warren Buffett and everyone says, it's like, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. And that's what was short selling was like back then, is you knew that if there was a big runner, if there was a hot stock, that it would not run for multiple days, like 0 of them. I mean, maybe once a month one would run for 2 days and collapse. But because of the fact that there was so much fear out there, we could capitalize on that. And then you fast forward to 2016, and it doubly so in 2020. I mean, probably all of you recall 2020. There was no fear. Like absolutely zero fear when you go back to 2020 when the lockdown started. You got Dave Portnoy, Davey Day Trader trading. You got Wall Street Bets on Reddit. I mean, you got just people buying everything in diamond hands. I mean, I know it seems like an eternity ago. Who remembers diamond hands? Like nobody would sell anything. There was zero fear. Now, because of that, every one of these low price stocks, it was the opposite when I got started. Every single one of them went on multi-day runs, multi-week, multi-month runs. I mean, some of these, look at GameStop and AMC. I mean, they're all getting wrecked now, but basically the whole year, multiple years, they put in itty-bitty red days and then 10 more green days after that. So the point is that if you're in the markets and you understand the psychology of the markets, you can capitalize on that. Now, again, my thing is right now, we're still in no fear mode, like literally no fear. When I look at some of these artificial intelligence stocks, CXAI goes from like $4 to 60 in a couple days, and C3 AI ticker AI. I mean, it's pulling back now, but it's still up 300-400% on the year. And all it takes is one headline from whether it be Tesla with Dojo. I mean, that's what's crazy is a lot of people think about what Google and Amazon and Apple and Nvidia are all doing in AI. Once Dojo and Tesla, Elon, once that starts rolling, I mean, it's going to change the world. I mean, like Elon is going to change another sector with artificial intelligence. And I know, Tesla's a $300 stock. Well, depending on when you watch this, it's probably $400 or $500. But think about what that does to small cap stocks. That's what we love. So even if you can't trade a $200 or $300 stock like a Tesla, there's going to be more CXAIs or SOUNs or BBAI. And if you can understand how those markets shift and what is happening in the hot sectors, I mean, even weed, as we record right now, some of the worst weed stocks that haven't put in multi-day runs literally since 2015. CGC, one of the crappiest weed stocks out there, I think is on its 4th or 5th green day today. Actually just made a new high a few minutes ago. We had a killer trade plan on that from the noon webinar. ACB, all of these TLRY, they're all coming back. So the point is, you have to have risk management. You have to stay safe, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to trade. And that's when the real money is made, in my opinion. When everyone else is scared and everyone else is sitting on the sidelines, that's when we see the best opportunity. And like I think back to the financial crisis when I started day trading actively. So many people, friends, family, associates are like, what are you doing? Why are you trading right now? The TV is screaming end of the world. Everybody's screaming, all the media is screaming end of the world. And meanwhile, I'm like, man, I'm crushing it right now. And same in 2020. Listen, maybe you were trading in 2020. I think back to that mainstream media type thing of like, oh, irrational exuberance and, oh, this won't last, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the 2020 stock run was about 2.5 years long. And if you listened to CNBC, if you listened to the traditional financial media, you sat on the sidelines and missed basically the craziest 2 years in my 17 years of trading. And since a decade before that. So the more you avoid markets, the more you don't trade, it's just opportunity cost. You give up opportunity that you could be taking advantage of. Now, what I want you to understand, and this is the meat of the video, is you have to know how to trade. Like, trading gets such a bad rap because of the fact that it is literally accessible to anyone, okay? As much as I love this, I love the fact that any 18-year-old that can scrape together a few $100 and fire up a laptop can trade. That's awesome. I love it. And I don't care if you're 18 or 80, okay? The point is that accessible to anyone. Like especially with like the brokerages now, I mean, you can start trading the same day at some brokers. I was blown away when I saw that. I'm old school. I remember back when you had to fund your account, it'd take like a week before you could start trading. Now they'll give you a margin. They'll let you actually trade on your pending deposit, okay? It's pretty crazy that you can start trading within minutes of using their money, but it's also a downfall. It attracts lazy people. It attracts get-rich-quick type people, but therein lies the opportunity. So one of the reasons I trade, one of the reasons almost every successful day trader mostly focuses on low-price stocks is it attracts the dumbest and the laziest people. And, listen, I don't care what I'm competing in. If it could be a marathon or it could be a spelling bee. I always want to be competing against the dumbest, laziest people at the end of the day. I mean, I want an edge. And in trading, one of the biggest things is finding that edge. And if you're willing to spend the time and effort to study the past, to review charts, to review what has worked in the past. I mean, you look at these weed stocks, some of those tickers I mentioned, those are the same tickers that made the biggest runs in 2015. There's a reason I knew about those. There's a reason many traders knew about those. It's the same stocks, same patterns, same things repeat over and over again. But one thing bad about the current world we live in is the entire world seems to function solely on that old quote that those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. We see that in pretty much every single geopolitical or foreign policy or government initiative these days. But anyway, we can't change that. But as an informed day trader and someone that actually wants to treat this as a professional, you can learn from history. Best way to learn it from history, check out the Daily Income Trader System. So the Daily Income Trader System is a daily trading program where we go live 4 times a day, pre-market, market open, middle of the day, end of the day, with me and other millionaire traders that have actually done it, that know history. And what's cool about it, you get access to the scans, you get access to alerts, live chat rooms, live webinars, software, ebooks, recorded history lessons. I mean, basically everything. And what's neat is if you click that link below to the Daily Income Trader System, it's actually going to take you to a 100% free live trading webinar where you can see the system, you can see what, obviously this video is recorded. It's a YouTube video, okay? So by now I mentioned CGC and AI and some of these, maybe you're watching this 6 months from now and these stocks are no longer in play. What's great about those Daily Income Trader System webinars, live 6 times a day, 100% free. So you can dip your toe in and get an idea of what is and isn't working and get a tour of what we do every single day inside the community. 100% free, 6 times a day, even on weekends. We don't do 6 a day on weekends, but usually there's 2 a day, Saturdays and Sundays. So doesn't matter your schedule, doesn't matter your time zone, 100% free education, touring the system, going over what's hot. Check it out, and we'll see you next time.